Welcome back to part 2 of the MEGA Isengard board build, and in this video I'm going to show you how Keith created this mega tower, and we're going to walk through all the details in this video.
If you haven't already watched part 1, go and check that out first. This is your only warning to catch up. The Siege of Orthanc is about to begin. So to recap and refresh, in part 1 we began the build journey to complete 4 sections of Isengard. First constructing the outer wall, painting and covering the base, and now we are moving on to building the tower. From start to finish, Keith had about 4 days to complete this. We took it right to the 11th hour before the SBG photo shoot, and this video is to explain how he did it. If you're enjoying the Middle Earth content on this channel, smash that subscribe button and strap in because we're about to get crafting.
So as some of you know, we've been featured in the absolutely mega SBG Magazine book. This is issue 15 and it's got our build on the front. This is super exciting. Thank you so much for Damien and Tom for getting us involved in this. And these books are absolutely stunning. These magazines are awesome. We're super excited that we're featured in this and that you guys can just see the scale and the beauty that was the 4x4 build. So in this magazine there's a full battle report from when me, Keith, Damien, Tom and Dave took it to Isengard with Ents and Orcs, and we had so much fun. So you can read all about that, and there's also a breakdown of the art in the article of how Keith and I built this specifically for this magazine. So go and get yourself a copy. I'll leave details in the description of this video how you can buy one and support the SBG magazine.
In case you didn't already know, the model itself is entirely made out of grey styrofoam. It is great for carving but can be easily damaged, so the edges were protected by strips of plywood. Some might say it's the artistry and engineering akin to the work of the elves in Rivendell. We left the tower to last so that we could fit it into the wider landscape. Rather than make a quarter of the model, we decided we should make 2 of the 4 wings to give the model depth and dimension. This choice was inspired by the panoramic views of Isengard as seen from the top of Saruman's tower. 2 key structures dictated the scale of the tower: the grand staircase of 27 steps leading to the singular entrance, and the balcony designed to accommodate the figures of Saruman and his treacherous advisor Grima Wormtongue. As read from the book, they came now to the foot of Orthanc. Up to the threshold of the door there mounted a flight of 27 broad stairs, hewn by some unknown art and some black stone. This was the only entrance to the tower, but many tall windows were cut with deep embrasures in the climbing walls. The tower had to be large enough for the balcony not to look oversized, and this was a real key feature I wanted to make in it. We were determined that the flight of stairs would have all 27 steps, so we made this first. We soon realised that it would not be sufficient to build the tower 12 inches high. The balcony would need to be higher than that, so this is why we decided to build a removable second section, making the model 2 foot high. Once the main box structure was complete, we needed to make all the fins that protrude from the sides of the tower. These varied in size and shape with a total of over 90 fins and 90 spaces to hold them apart. Each one was then textured using the kitchen foil method. Now this was a mammoth task, and I don't want to underestimate how long this took Keith, cutting 90 fins individually and then gluing them on to the box. To get the neat rounded tops to the rows of windows and door, we used a collection of pre-decimal coins from Keith's teenage years. The door arch was a half crown and the windows a shilling. The windows were glazed by cutting up a blue plastic document wallet. The plastic was frosted and so beautifully diffused the light of the blue LED bottle lights inside. This created a visual contrast with the other lighting effects we had on the board. I apologise I don't have footage of everything Keith did, as I was only able to be with him for the week leading up to the deadline. After the initial box structure was in place, I was able to take the base section and start getting it sprayed black, while Keith began work on the final centrepiece with the balcony. It took meticulous planning and trial and error for this build, as we had never done anything like this before. Time not being on our side, it was all hands on deck to get the baseboards dry, covered with flock at the same time of gluing wood strips and fins to Orthanc. As you can see here, Keith has now added in the centre strip to form the balcony. We had to let all of these dry for as long as possible before doing the final spray and finishing touches. I'm sure Keith would agree it was very complex to get all the joining sections. We still had more grey foam strips to add, and between each strip is a thin piece of card glued in to act as a support, as you can see. Finally, we added 2 long cocktail sticks either side of the balcony entrance, and we also cut 4 small spikes to hang down below the balcony. These architectural details, varying in shapes and sizes, add to the tower's menacing allure. After basing the board with the scatter materials like the sawdust and the grass and all those final touches, we added puddles of water, weeds and some slag heaps. We completed the model at 11 PM the night before the photo shoot. It was an absolute labour of love, and Keith found it a wonderful way of filling a lot of dark days in January. This weekend we have just got back from ArdaCon in Manchester. ArdaCon is the SBG International, and it's the largest event for Middle-earth strategy battle game in the world. Since 2016, this annual celebration has mustered hundreds of players and hobbyists from around the world to join together in all things Middle-earth SBG. I hope this has shown the care and attention we take in all of our boards and the pride we have to be able to create content like this to showcase the love we have for this hobby. If you've watched this far and enjoyed it, we would love it if you could subscribe. I know from the analytics that 85% of people who watch our videos aren't subscribed, so it would be a massive deal if you could show your support. There is always plenty more Middle-earth goodness to come, so until next time, may your paintbrushes be steady and your dice always roll in your favour.